Welcome to the show. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a Monday morning, hopefully a normal week in the market. Normal's all relative, I guess. Looks like Bitcoin dropping out, hitting alerts to the downside, and welcome everybody. Just trying to make sure I got all the windows in the right place here this morning. Looks like we got Goose and Rob and Sergio and Dawn and Darren and Rex and Roland and Frank. Good to see everybody. JT, is it possible for you to turn up your volume on your end? That's as far as I know, there's no volume to adjust. I'm at 0 dB and there's no plus, so that's up. Haven't heard anybody else complain about being loud, but anyway. All right, maybe when I switch to the other screen, let's see, it adjusts. Yeah, 0 dB over here, 0 dB over here. That's what I got, 0 dB, and that's there's no positive. It's all the way up. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Sorry about that, Frank. Betsy, good morning. Gary, Gayton, David, Arturo, Diane. Yeah, hopefully a full week of trading with no shenanigans. Days closed. Had 3 weeks of that in a row. Hopefully. Anyway, so we got Joseph and Amy and Mark and Ted and Rongamer. Rongamer, did you see my message a minute ago? Learned a valuable lesson this morning. That truck will throw the wiper right off of it if there's any ice on the windshield at all. I was like, well, the wiper just came off. I was like, son of a... Anyway, doesn't appear to be user serviceable since it's interesting, the windshield wiper fluid goes right up the blade. So definitely not user serviceable. And, all right. Yeah, so far, looks like crypto burning down a little bit. And... we'll see. There's alerts popping up left and right. So BTC, USD. I just clicked the alert off right when I wanted to go to the chart. Awesome. We'll talk about the disclaimer here in a second. Look at that. We're pushing below that line. Watch out. If this continues, right in here is the primary target. That is the extreme target. There you go. Yeah, nice eject feature. Yeah. I don't know. Apparently there was some ice somewhere on the windshield, even though it was like all warmed up, but conditioned. Nice clear windshield. That wiper went down, and I heard something, and it goes vroom and flipped it right off the truck. I was like, well, that was cool. Son of a... Anyway, I digress. Anyway, Bitcoin probably going to do that right there. Probably, if not down there. Hope you're prepared for that. I hope it does it quickly. Honestly, I hope this is like 1 or 2 days, and then we're back on the upward path. I still expect 150 to 170. Probably top out there, and I guess we'll see. We'll see on that one. And moving on. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. Not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument, which means there's a substantial risk of loss, all right? When you trade stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries, don't trade them. If you don't know what you're doing, I mean, let's just be honest. There's a substantial risk of loss anytime you do any of that stuff. And if you desire personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. I put on insulated pants today. A little warmer than normal. Anyway, so if you need somebody to tell you what buttons to do, what buttons to push, how to make a trade, when to make a trade, what to trade for you and your account, you need to hire and consult somebody that can do that. that can tell you that advice. Today, pretty benign. Tomorrow, this is interesting right here. Why is PPI first? That's weird. Tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m., PPI coming out. That's Producer Price Index. That's weird that it comes out before CPI. Usually, there's some chaos in the market when that happens. It's not like a always. It's just usually when they reverse them. CPI coming out on Wednesday. Usually when they reverse these two, when CPI is out second, something's going on. So the market tends to react negatively. So we may get that flush out that I've been looking at. This might be the why or the excuse or whatever you want to say. The retail sales coming out on Thursday. So this is a week of numbers here. Almost, except for today, we got numbers, 3 days a week, the next 3 days. And then Friday, we get building permits and housing starts. It's not a big Forex mover, so it's not colored red, but this can move the markets for the U.S. markets. That's also at 8:30. So news on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't think they'll up the futures for that one, but these three, they'll probably raise the futures. Wow. Anyway, futures margins go up when big news comes out. If you're a futures trader, at least most brokers do that. Most of the ones I deal with anyway. All right, so that's that for the news. The CNN extreme fear gauge cranking up. Or I guess we're getting close to the extreme fear right there. Almost there. Below 25 would be extreme fear. We were at 29 on Friday. I don't even see if I can find it. Find the live one. I just captured the image just in case. Fear and greed index. There we go. Yeah, 27 this morning. Dun, 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 dun. Last updated 20 minutes ago. There we go. Getting there. We were at greed a year ago. We were at neutral a month ago. We're at fear a week ago, and we're getting close. That's interesting. I captured it at 29. We're at 27. We'll see what happens today. See what happens this week. Bitcoin, I bet some fear is happening there. Hopefully you all are aware that we're going down to the roadmap line. Only been talking about that for a while. If this head and shoulders plays out, that's the level down here, 77. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Now, it can fake out. We can do a dip. That would be the ideal best place if we're going to fake it out. Tag that 87 area right there. I was trying to think of something funny to say, but I couldn't. I just gone. Anyway, tag that 87 area right there. And then bounce. That's possible. It does not have to go all the way down to the roadmap line. Doesn't have to. I would love to see that. It can stop at 87. It can stop at 83. It can stop at 79. Or it can do the whole head and shoulders pattern all the way down to 77. It can even pop further down. It can even not go make a higher high. I expect it to, but it can. This could be the end of the halving rally. I mean, possible. Anything's possible. This all looks corrective so far. It does not look impulsive to the downside. So I think this is just a correction off of this high right back here. We're going to find support somewhere down here. And then probably go on up to 150,000. 172 is like the ideal spot to go stop at on the upside. We'll see what happens in the coming days and coming weeks. Right there. ES, S&P 500. Hopefully everybody's been prepared for this. Look at what we're doing. I mean, here we go. Probably coming down to, I mean, how long ago did I warn everybody? Like, is anybody caught completely surprised by this? Let me know in the chat. Hopefully you've listened to me, especially when we did this right there. Especially when we did that. Hopefully you've listened to me and realized that we're very likely to come on down here. Very likely. No surprise at all. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's wrap this up. I'm ready to be done with this correction. Might take a couple more days. Like I said, that CPI PPI flipped. That's weird. This could go a little lower than I expect. Could see something. And we haven't really flushed below the roadmap line in a long time. We go back and look at it. Look, that was a spike below in August. But really, it's been back here since October. That was a year and 3 months ago at this point, when we really got a little extra. See, it looked like we were going to bounce there. Uh-oh. And then we went deeper right there. So be careful. We could do another one of these. It's a little deeper than, and that went all the way to the 1618. Right there on the third move. Go look at the current one. Got lots of stuff drawn on here. Let's clean it up just a tad. Clean her up, buttercup. That high right there. Which low? It's that low, that high. Yeah, so the 1618 right now, down here. Anybody surprised on the time frame? I got it right on the time frame too. I was speculating when all the way back at the election over here. I was like, we may run its course. We may hit the upside target, which we did. And then we may retrace into the inauguration. Then all the excitement on the inauguration. We rally. That's what that big arrow is right there. And then we meet the ultimate top out in the market, somewhere between probably 6,300 and 6,600. That's where I expect us to top out. And then probably going through a decade or two of correction. We'll have years of rallying, years of not rallying. Yeah, 65.6 up there. Kind of expect us to retest that breakout, which just happens to be at the roadmap line. Then we push back higher. Once again, 65 right there. Hopefully that's the way it works. This not holding this morning. Big red flag, 90% likely we're going to the roadmap line right there. QQQ. Just opened up below the line. If we don't just reverse it right now, 90%. I'm going to say 90% likely we're going to touch that. If we don't just, unless this reverses right now, this is probably coming down here. Russell, well, there's the target down there. Maybe a little lower, maybe even 2,000. That's starting to look like, this is starting to look like impulsive down, which means a new trend. So Russell may, when ES and NQ go higher, Russell may not make a new high. This could do a deep retrace whenever this thing finally bottoms out. Maybe down here, we could do a, oh man, look at that. If it comes down to here, that retrace would be right back to there, right back where that high is. Then we're going down. That looks like what Russell's going to do. Can't make this stuff up sometimes. That 618 level is not fixed until we make the low down here. If it bottoms right there, this is just too perfect. Too perfect. I mean, that's wild. If you're spooked out by fib lines at this point, yeah, I surprise myself sometimes with them. And oil going for that breakout right there. It's trying. Look at that line I drew on there. It tried to push above, softening it up, pushing back down below the line. We can get above it. We can probably go on up at least 90, 89, 90, maybe as high as 105. This thing is getting to the point where we need a retrace. All right, this move up off that low right there, this low being the operative low at the moment. That move, that move, that move, that move, that move, probably getting to the point where we need something back to the roadmap line. Maybe we could push a little bit higher. Pull that 618 line right up to the roadmap line. Could do something as high as 82 in the coming days. Then come all the way back down for the roadmap line / 618 retest. That would be too good. So if we do that, that's the rocket ship pattern. What I call the rocket ship pattern, where the measured bounce and the roadmap line bounce line up together. Then when we start doing that, it's probably going big up. That's almost, I call it the rocket ship pattern because when it sets that up, you can make big money really fast. Really fast. But it's not set up so far. And with the current high, the 618 is way down here. Now it could still come back down to the 618 and bounce, but it's not the rocket ship pattern unless we pull this on up and line it all up. So we'll see what happens in the coming days. Right there, we'll see. Yes, yeah, exactly. If CL pops, inflation is immediate inflation pop. So be careful. Gold, well, that was a bummer. Right up to the downtrend of highs. Set up 1, 2, 1, 2. Probably going to do that. Watch out for a flush out on gold. If you're still in the gold rush trade, it's done. Done, 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 done. Hopefully you close it out on Friday when we got the big pop. Bitcoin, like I said, highly likely we're going on down. Highly likely. Ethereum, highly likely we're going on down. We're pushing below the roadmap line today, finally. So this one could possibly find support here and turn and burn. Possibly, not likely. I think we're going to push right on down here to the ideal target. This move down, 3 waves. This move up, 3 waves. This move down could wrap it up. Then we'll see what happens. Now, this one, not exactly the most clear on what we're doing, because that could be 3 waves, that could be 3 waves, this could be the finishing move. This could be the first move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be some sort of leading diagonal. Don't like to think about that because it's a lower probability move, but I should at least mention it that it's possible. I think I just clicked on the wrong thing. I clicked on triangle instead of. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be impulsive, but it would be they don't have diagonal. Cool. So it'd be like this. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. And then we do a correction that would be quite deep, probably come back up to the 786 level, maybe even the 886 level on Ether. right back to that wave 4 number. After bottoming out, we come all the way back up here, turn down again, and make a bigger down. And that could go down. This might go down to 6 or 700. If we're going to do that. That's a bummer. I mean, it's not like 1700. That's 700. This whole thing might be a big correction. And this would be why that? Because this would be the A wave, this would be the B wave, and this would be the C wave down here. 500, 700, something like that. Is that going to suck? If you're long Ethereum, you betcha. That's why I always warn about these things. That's, yeah, there we go. Pull that up to that high right there. It was just barely higher. So yeah, right down in this area. Right down. Put this down here. So that's the worst case scenario. We do this move down. That's a 1. This is a 2. That's a 3, 4, 5. Right there. Be careful on that one. DXY. Pushing on up. The resistance is at that 111 area. If we break above that 111 area right there, that 76, 111.27, and it's not just break above, doesn't just mean a spike like that. It means like get some continuation candles. Then we're probably going to do something more bullish and go up to like 117, maybe even up to 119 up here. So this is always a blend of where can you be wrong. Well, above that 111.27, I'm probably wrong that we're going down immediately. And this was just a big correction, and this is going to make a new high, similar to... Now, the funny thing is, it can still make that higher high and still be in a correction. This could still be the A wave. This could still be the B wave. It just got a little overexcited to the upside, and we could still have a epically large downside. This actually kind of opens up the downside to being even bigger if we go up that extra little bit there. So it's unlikely that we just top out right here in this vicinity, just below the prior high. Unlikely. If we're going to pop on up, we may probably get on up here. Now, unlikely doesn't mean it doesn't happen. We see it on the charts all the time, double tops and stuff like that. So it can come up here and double top it and still go down. Just not the most likely thing. Double tops are not the most likely thing to occur. And the Nike... Watch out. This looks like we're just going to return back to the bottom of the box, but if we start getting below the bottom of the box, watch for this downtrend of high, or uptrend of lows. Excuse me, uptrend of lows. Flip the script on me, and we get below that, we can go on down, and this could result in a bigger market flush out, declining market liquidity. That's what I would look at that as. All right. The big warning. Look at this. Finally. We see S5TH. I know I kind of skipped around a little bit. Our gauge, S5TH here, below 50. 50%. 48.9% of the S&P 500 stocks are above their 200-day moving average. This dropped below 50 for the first time since right back here in November 23. That's been a while. Been a good long while. Now, S5TH, or S5FI, excuse me, S5FI, hanging out down here. If we can get a move down to 10-ish, that's an imminent reversal. So if we see this bloodbath develop further today, we get down below 10. It's probably an imminent reversal setup right there. And then S5TW, stocks about their 20-day. This bounce looks like it ran its course. This may push on down, make a lower low, and then we're setting this up. So we're setting up for a bounce. Setting up for a bounce. It doesn't have to happen. It can go way deeper than anybody expects. But it looks like we're setting all these up for a bounce. Right now, S5TH. We typically bounce on the way down. We don't typically just flush it unless it's a mark. I mean, even during COVID, look. Even during COVID, we came all the way down and bounced off the bottom line before we went on down. Even during COVID, we did that. So we don't just get a typical, just flush from one end to the other. It just doesn't even happen, even during a crash. Even during a crash, we bounced before we could get down to the bottom. All right. Hopefully, some of you played some of this stuff. VIX. I see TV did it. Dun, 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 dun. Come back over. There we go. I was looking for this to hit 25. We're getting close. Getting close. What was the high today? 24.50. 24.60. And 24.58. 24.58 high. It's right up there. Looking for that to hit at least 25, if not the roadmap line. I mean, really, I expect it to pop on up, hit the roadmap line. May not happen today. Might be tomorrow or Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I don't know. All these numbers coming out this week. We'll see what happens. I do kind of expect more flush in the market. Probably get a little reprieve here. People buying the dip before the dip keeps on dipping. Be careful. The dip can keep on dipping here. This will be the point where you start shopping. Hopefully you're prepared. Hopefully you didn't just sit here and watch it all turn red and you're like, dang, man, why is JT got to be right all the time? Hopefully you didn't just write it down. Hopefully. All right, in the pre-market, I go pull all the stuff moving $2 or more up, put it on the gainers list, $2 or more down, put it on the decliners list, and we go through it hunting for opportunities. And this morning, the list is pretty long. So pharmaceutical kicking off the list, and I wouldn't even mess with this, honestly. And we can look at it here. The 1 week charts. It's really difficult to make any kind of projection off of this. Maybe up to 113, possibly 130. It's like a first move, second move, next move, maybe up there. If it's going to be bullish, and then it may do that. That would be what I expect. UNH. And that may have finally played out here at the roadmap line. Look at that. Imagine that. Bounced at the roadmap line on the weekly chart. If we're going to keep going, we'll break above that conservative entry right there on the weekly chart and go cruising on higher. And that can take like half the year, if not the whole year, to play out to the upside. This won't be without pullbacks and stuff like that. I mean, very rarely do we just pop from here to the top. So be careful out there. You know, one of the people in Discord over the weekend was asking, hey, I see this correlation of earnings being, when you get earnings and they're above the 618, they tend to pop immediately up to the 1448. I think that's just a bias. You got to really look at a large population. What's your population size for that determination? And then what chart, what time frame are you looking at? Are you looking at the daily? Because this could bounce off right here at the resistance and turn down. So watch out for earnings. Earnings, to me, crapshoot. The reaction, I haven't found anything that actually predicts them. Being above or below the 618 doesn't really have much bearing, at least as far as I've seen. Resistance right there for Humana. Seem to be getting some healthcare rally, healthcare insurance anyway. Lululemon is at that resistance. We do have that large gap down. If we can get through it, probably going cruising. And this can go all the way up here, almost to 700 on the next run. NTRA, That looks played out to the upside. We could go a little bit higher, possibly up to that 195-ish area before we give it up and come back down. Triple H, Howard Hughes Holdings. Gosh, that looks like a choppy, nasty thing. I just wouldn't mess with that right now. Unreliable. Downtrend of highs. I wouldn't mess with that. That looks like a fake out on that, whatever that's doing. Can easily go lower. WGS. Hey, Slidge. Getting on a jet plane going somewhere, huh? And WGS. Another medical related stock that looks like we might be coming back to the roadmap line. This hiding in here. Reverse split. Makes this a dumpster fire. I don't care what kind of rally it's got going on. This can easily come back down to the bottom. Dun dun dun. Poop barn. It's an interesting one. This may go back for another roadmap test here. Usually we see that. Usually when we see this spike type thing right here come up lower high, a lot of times we'll see this bounce, do a double bounce off the roadmap line before we can go on up. So this may come on down back to the roadmap line. DXCM coming up into resistance right there. So all this stuff rallying in the face of the market pulling back. So once the market starts actually rallying again, is all this stuff going to drop? Tell me. NTES coming up into that downtrend of highs, resistance. That's the resistance right down through there. And we still came up shy of the ideal target on the downside. So this can flush on down. Does it have to? Absolutely not. It can break out here and start doing something more bullish, but it still looks like set up for going lower. Option care. Well, that didn't do anything bullish. Just take that off the chart. Triple top. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Yeah, it looks like we're set up for further downside. It's a setup. It doesn't have to follow through, but it's a setup for going lower. We're at that resistance right there. If you did the roadmap pattern, it works upside down also. It doesn't just work bullish. Did that right there. The bounce. When we break down, if we break down below that 2370 area, that sets up the lower low around 20. Right down in here. We've seen it happen often enough. I wouldn't bet against it. It's not necessarily a high probability till it breaks below that 618 level. ETHD, ultra short, which means leveraged. Ultra means leveraged. Anytime you see it. Short means this goes up when Ethereum goes down. So this may pop as Ethereum plummets into the basement. And looks like we're on a downtrend though. So that's one plus thing going for Ethereum is that the leveraged short looks like it's heading down. But is it a declining asset? Maybe. 5 below, sitting at the resistance and may get a lower low. This looks like 3 up, 1, 2, 3. And they start to a flush out that may take it right down here. Be careful chasing that one. TNK coming up into resistance. Is this done on the downside? I don't know. I don't know, Margot. Could be. That's a very proportional first move. Kind of a diagonal down. Quick little retrace. Final flush with no real waves in it. That could be done. Found support in the same area where we consolidated before, probably a wave 4. And yeah, that could be done. And we could be looking for a next move up. Yeah, it comes out right. Look at that. Look at that. Just like I drew on IWM. See how that came right there? This pops up through that. Probably going up here to this 79 to 80 area right there. So that would be the path forward. Could you buy now? You could. Could it turn down at the roadmap line and go lower? Absolutely. So that lowers your stop if you were going to get long now. Otherwise, wait till we get above this prior high and then go for the higher probability trade right there. Just an idea. I'm probably not going to trade that one. Just probably not. Pharmaceutical with a reverse split in here. Dumpster fire. Just be careful on that stuff. I wouldn't even mess with it. Wouldn't even mess with it. PHIO. Another dumpster fire. Be careful. You know, a lot of times it's a big warning sign that the market's about to flush more when we see biotechs and pharmaceuticals dominating the morning list. It just typically when we're in a correction, we see a bunch of that stuff show up on the list. That can go lower. It could break out. Has a downtrend of highs. Be careful. Trying to chase that one. Till we confirm it. Make sure you know what you're looking for. Now, ZSL. Oh, this is interesting. Ultra shorts on silver. It's a leveraged short on silver. Dumpster fire with the reverse split. How do I know it's a reverse split? Because charts don't plummet into the basement and have a regular split. That's a reverse split right there. And go check out silver real quick. Just go to the base chart. I've kind of been thinking we were going to get a flush right down here. That can take ZSL up a little bit, but the upside is limited, as I think we're going to find support in this area right here, somewhere between 26 and 28, and turn higher and go for the bigger move up. How much bigger move up? It's maybe the biggest market opportunity I know of for the next couple of years. This right here can bounce and go cruising right up here. It'd be a beautiful, another test of the weekly roadmap line right there and set up the potential to rally up here. Be really nice. That'd be real nice. So silver could be chopping around for a few more weeks, possibly a couple months more till we meet up everything on the weekly roadmap line. And then possibly set up massive moves if you look at the log chart. 61, 70. Even without the log mode, 55, 60. I mean, numbers are almost the same. It's kind of crazy. Log mode or not. I'm kind of excited about this setup. ZSL, probably going to the basement if that pops. And ACG, no. AGQ, there it is. Ultra silver. Long. This will probably rock and roll. Now, you may be like, I'm just going to go buy 2027 options on this. Yeah, unless something changes, those are not very affordable. Look at this. Look at the prices on these babies. Holy bananas. $1,000. Look at that. They got it stacked all the way up here. The market thinks that silver's going higher. Be careful. TQQQ coming back down. Oh, look at that. Hit the roadmap line. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Right there. We may pop. If and when we pop. Oh, look at that. Beautiful right there too. May get just a little lower. Come up. Break above that 618. Go cruising right up there. This, if it sets up and triggers the conservative entry, pretty much a high probability trade. How do I know? Based on the history. Put me on the other side here. Oh, cool. I left the dumpster fire going. Put me on the other side here. You can see 94% of the time with 36 profit factor. Look at that. Ridiculous. That is some smoking hot stuff right there. If this sets up, breaks above that level right there, high probability for that to happen. Oh yeah. I'll be on that. I'll be on that trade. If it sets up. Put me back on the other side. Shrink that back down. Close that back off. TSLT. Hey, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber. Hopefully you're feeling a little better today. TSLT, you'd probably say no. 2x leverage on Tesla. Maybe coming back to the daily roadmap line. Watch out for that. Although we can hold that higher low and go ripping. I did lighten up on my leverage. TSLL. Same situation. I lightened up on this. Just kind of waiting. Waiting. If QQQ kind of bottoms out at the roadmap line, I'll probably add it back. So I didn't think Tesla would just be immune to this bigger flush. Now we may pop up here, retest the leave no gaps, and then come on down. But it's possible that this holds. Like I said, if we just spike, if this was just a spike down here to test it, we reverse it very quickly, get back above there. This correction could possibly be done for QQQ. Where's the upside? That high, that low. Next upside target, 552. Too many things look like they need more downside. But we can always finish it up anytime here. As far as the gainers list goes, this is turning out to be not the gainers list. ARM coming on down. Oh, we were up here. I think somewhere I got derailed here. Started on a different part of the... Yeah, I was on ZSL, CLMT. Probably got to come back down to the roadmap line. SAGE. Watch for that resistance. That's a therapeutics, pharmaceutical, biotech, all that stuff. Watch for that resistance here and I'll plummet down to the basement. TECS. 3x bear on technology. As QQQ flushes, this pops. Watch for the resistance there. This is a dumpster fire, declining asset, and we can go lower. After that, REGN, decliners, stuff that was down. That makes more sense now. I skipped on the list. REGN, looks like that's going to go on a deeper retrace. That topped out, got a little more excited than where I thought. Topped out just a little higher and deeper retrace. May find support in the 500 area, but if we don't, this can go on a bigger retrace. That could be played out. Look at that move. 1, 2, 3. Watch for this to be the bubble pattern. That's what I would say here. See that craziness? If this starts chopping a little bit and we break down, we can come back down. And watch out for that to be the bubble pattern on a big picture time frame. Same over here. This one could be the bubble pattern. MSTR. As Bitcoin flushes on down, looks like we may be bouncing a little bit. Just a touch. I expect this to come on down to the roadmap line here, right around 250. Now this could be done. Like this could be finished, and this could set up a 1-2. We break back above the 618 here. It's probably game on for going on up to that $1,000 area. I looked at some other Elliott Wave analyst stuff this weekend, and they seem to think that this possibly is done correcting here. And MSTR has some upside to go on up to about 1,000, which is in line with my upside target. So There's the possibility this is done. It could come on down to that 250 area. Could. So you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, what you're willing to risk. ANF. Ooh, guess what? That one's going on a bigger retrace, possibly down to 100 area. Maybe deeper. The head and shoulders plays out. Head, shoulder, head, shoulder, 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 shoulder. If that plays out, you see this come down here. Although the real break is up here. Still puts it down around 70. 100 would be, it's kind of the ideal. First move down, retrace, diagonal, and next move down. Put it right down in there. All right, ASML. Bounced off the roadmap line. Can't make this stuff up. Bottom of the box, right down here where I've had my alert. Right down around 600. That's where I expect it to go. Bottom of the box. F and GU coming back down, potentially to the roadmap line. If we do that, it sets up another massive bounce potential. Tesla. Can it hold a higher low? That's the big question. Can this hold up in the face of QQQ going lower? If it does, this sets up a mega rally pattern. Do have earnings coming up. Caution, 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 caution. Coming up right there, 29th. So 2 weeks. Not next week, a week after. Do have inauguration and MLK Day on the 20th. So the market will be closed for Martin Luther King Day. And the inauguration just happens to be on that same day. So 1 more week. And then we have a new administration. See what kind of chaos that kicks off. Coin. Oh, come on. That's getting so close. Oh, man, that almost touched the roadmap line. Almost. That's close might count, but I would still be looking for that to actually hit. Connell might come on down. I'd love it to see it hit that log mode 618 right there. I've got a bunch of alerts there. We didn't actually quite hit it. Kind of grazed the top of the box there. Grazed the top of the range. I want to see that come on down just a little bit more and set up the bounce. That combined with the coin just makes this look really nice. Makes that look real nice. All right. INSP. Another medical thing. Choppy. Lower highs. Be careful. PTIR. Remember, this can do the big retrace. PLTR may come back to the roadmap line. This can easily come back down here. This is climbing up, so it could be over here. If it does that, PTIR, the leveraged one, PTIR is going down with 2x leverage. So be careful. mRNA. Oh, look at that. I thought we might get to the roadmap line. Nope. 1, 2, 3 up. That was probably not even a 4-hour test. Yeah, something between a 1 hour and a 4 hour, kind of a 4 hour, then flush. Probably heading on down here in 15 on Moderna app. Probably coming back to the roadmap line eventually. Bulls already back to the roadmap line. Watch for that to hold. Turn back above the 618 and go for the extension that we missed right there. TSM. Taiwan Semi playing out 223, possibly 237, and then watch for a big flush. And it could be done already. We could be just working on the flush here. Spotify. That glanced off of that resistance zone, target zone, or retrace to the roadmap line. Very classically, we see this breakout, hit that 1148, which is my fib level. It's 90% of the way to the 1272. We'll commonly see it retrace, push on up, hit that, retrace, possibly here, again, before we can go on up here. Very common to see that kind of topping action. NVDU, I'm warning you. Look at that. Starting to push lower. That broke below the uptrend of lows. Back tested. Pushing lower. Can result in that right there. This might be the warning for NVIDIA. Almost back to the roadmap line right there. We get below the roadmap line. Watch for the bigger flush on NVIDIA. GEV. Keeps being crazy. We can go on another extension here after that consolidation. Like we consolidated here and popped. Consolidate here. We can pop again all the way up to like 750. It'd be crazy. Crazy, but I can do it. SMH, back to the roadmap line. Can it bounce and get the target, or does it fail here and go lower? I don't know. AVGO, coming back down. I expect support somewhere in here. Maybe back to the roadmap line, though. If we don't hold here, back to the roadmap line. Back to that breakout level. We got a very strong, look at that, very strong level that we broke through. Hit once, twice, 3, 4, and then just popped above it. May come back to test it. Similar to the QQQ, similar to NASDAQ, MCY, Mercury General Corporation, coming on down. I expect this to hit right in here. Reddit, and it's hanging up, holding up really well. I eventually expect this to retrace back down to this area. May not be for a long time, but I expect it to come visit the roadmap line at the minimum, which may be here. If we get below that, we may come down here. FSLR bounced off the roadmap line there. Potentially going lower down here. Potentially. Already talked about NVIDIA. NVDL below that uptrend of lows. Watch out. The signs are aligning that we may see a bigger flush on NVIDIA. I've been warning for that for a long time. NVIDIA's probably played out. This may rally up to the roadmap line. This is a declining asset, dumpster fire. Be careful playing this one. It is a 1.5 leverage short on NVIDIA. CRWD coming back down to the roadmap line. BitX coming back down to the roadmap line. That's leveraged Bitcoin. Really hunting. I will probably add my leverage back on Bitcoin if we touch this roadmap line. Somewhere in that 39 to 42 area. MSTX. I don't know if I'm getting back long this one though. Honestly, I'd love to see that. Like if MSTR rallies from where it is to 1,000. Check this out. Check this out. Let me grab the. This goes from here to 1,000. That's 224% upside. $224% upside. So this potentially double that. Holy bananas. 550%. Let's just go 500. Wow. That would be a massive potential. Going from 40 to 240. That's 8x, baby. And it doesn't even hit the 300 I thought we were going to hit. So that'd be nice. So I may add that back. I don't know. That's a nice opportunity there. MDB. That looks like we're going down. Potential for this to have bottomed, but that breakdown below the uptrend of lows concerns me that we're doing something more bearish, and we may go back to the lows. May even extend it down to 112 area. Excuse me. TMDX may go lower. BitU. Leverage Bitcoin. Watch for this to hit the roadmap line. SWTX. Well, I would expect that to go lower. VNTX. Back to the roadmap line. VRT. Back to the roadmap line. ALAB. Back to the roadmap line. Would be the golly. That's where all the opportunities are. Carvana. Hit the roadmap line. Potential for this one to bounce, break back above the 618, go hit that 281. I did buy a longer term put. I believe the Hindenburg report, for what, for lack of a better term, that there's some monkey business going on. And I bought something down here around 100. I only went out to 26. I went and checked it. Like I said on Friday, I bought 27, but I only bought 26. I think I got the $100. I spent a good chunk on that. If this busts through, goes back to the lows, that $12 option could potentially turn into like $100 or $90, $80, $90 option. We'll see if that happens. Be a pretty good play. Is that a guaranteed? Nah, I just have a feeling that this may come back down. And even if it just comes back down into this vicinity, I make pretty good money. Anything lower than 90 and being out that long if it happens quicker. So be careful playing that one long. TEM, I thought this was a dumpster fire of a company. I didn't think anything fundamentally changed in their business from down here. Haven't seen anything fundamentally change. And them lying about numbers and bit cooking the books to make sales look better. Basically, I watched a movie called The Accountant this weekend, and it basically was kind of like the way they were doing it. Like you take the money you kind of like disappear the money off the books and then use it to buy a car, use it to put back on the books and make the numbers look even better. That's kind of like what Hindenburg's saying they're doing, and this could come back down pretty violently. TEM. Watch for that to come back down to the lows. SOXX. Watch out for that to break down. DXYZ. Watch for that to come back to the roadmap line, if not come all the way back down to the bottom. SAP. Watch for that to come back down. That's the European version. Same on the US version. Okay. Yeah, roadmap line. EETH, that's ProShares. This is Ethereum, but it's not. It's going to be the Ethereum futures, I do believe. Let's go double check. Double check. What are they holding? Well, they don't even admit to holding Ethereum at all. So that's probably futures. Probably holding Ethereum futures. So be careful. EW. Found some resistance. Watch for this to retrace. That was very overlapping on the climb. And this may return back to the bottom. SMCX. 2x leverage on SMCI. SMCI didn't make the list, but that looks like we're going to flush down to a lower low. That's the setup right there. First move down, retrace. Next move down, retrace. Next move down, bottom. Be careful. Can they do something different? Sure. They can all do something different. FBTC, back to the roadmap line. USD. Ooh. If we break below the roadmap line, watch for the deeper retrace. TECL, doing something more sinister. That could be the first move down, second retrace, and this could be indicative of bigger problems in technology that doesn't recover and could come all the way down here. AS, I don't think that's the way it's going to work on TECL, but it's kind of a warning sign. AS could come back down to the roadmap line. IONQ, I don't know why there's a plus on it. Coming back to the roadmap line. TSLR. Coming back to the roadmap line. Be careful. Kind of mentioned that a minute ago. BX, watch for that to come back to the roadmap line. Not far now. If we do that, this high, this low, break back. Yeah, that looks like it's going to go a little bit lower. That. Just using the fib tool. Look at that. Like, see how that lines up right there? Looks like we may come down to that 150 area. Find support, bounce, break above that, and then we can set up the long trade to 210 area. 210, 209, 210. CLS playing out to the upside. Watch for the retrace. Shopify. Not far to go to the roadmap line. And the retest the breakout. AMAT. Watch for that to flush on down. Somewhere around 140. Ugly. Ultra gold. Watch for that to come back down. Remember, gold hit the downtrend of highs. This may flush down. This may be the first move down. The retrace. It may come down right in here and give the opportunity to get long ultra gold. Right down in there. All right. ADI. Nasty chart. Looks like we're going to push lower back into this consolidation down here. Qtum. I'd watch out for that to come back to the roadmap line. LABU. That's probably going down to the lows. This can come back down to the 30s and do another reverse split like this over here. Dill. Looks like that was an A wave, B wave. We're probably going to get a lower low somewhere in this 75 area. AGQ, Ultra Silver. I said that may go lower before we can find the bottom. TQQQ, already kind of covered that. Down to the roadmap line there. TSLT. Watch for that to hold if it can. ARM. Yeah, I already covered these. ARM. Back down here would be my expectation. All the way back, gap fill on the downside. Snow. I want to see that hit the roadmap line. Marvell. Back to the roadmap line would be what I want to see. Net. All these ones that I'm looking for the roadmap line, and they're played out on the upside for now. For me. Golly. Sludge in my throat. And I drank all my Monster. I talked about that on Friday. That gives you an opportunity to potentially buy some Bitcoin and sell upside calls, whereas pretty much nothing else is quite the same. So if you don't understand, or Thursday, not Friday, but Thursday, I talked about that. If you don't understand it, go watch Thursday's video. Crypto special while the market was closed, BitB. Watch for that to retrace. This one doesn't have options though. There's no options. This one has options. TSMX. Ooh, that's choppy. That's a 2x leverage on TSM. Watch out if TSM retraces. That's going down. PNW, expect this to come on down. That level right down in there, around 150, 156, 160, 150, 160. CRDO, watch for that to retrace. Golly, the long list was long today. RXST, getting a bigger, deeper retrace. That can bottom in the vicinity of this prior correction over here. Look for that. We're already getting there. QLD, back to the roadmap line. That's Ultra, leverage QQQ. Same thing as TQQQ, basically, different manager. Datadog, back to the roadmap line. Fidelity's Ethereum ETF. Hitting the roadmap line. It's not going to draw the roadmap line because there's not enough candles, but it's basically hitting the roadmap line, and this may be indicative that this is done. Maybe. An ideal correction right there. ABC, 1, 2, 3. Nice point to bounce, but I'd be very, very careful. I didn't throw any bonus trades on the list because I think we're in a correction, and I think it's dangerous to try and get long anything right now. Be careful. All right, we're going to get a little retrace today, looks like. Still expect, there's the possibility. There is the possibility that this NASDAQ here takes us back above that breakdown level, back above here, and we go higher. That's possible. This correction is done. I don't think it is. I think we're going to hit the roadmap line. ES says roadmap line. We get hit. on ES without hitting on NASDAQ. NASDAQ, though, below that breakout level suggests 90% probability. If we close the day down here, highly likely we're going to finish this up. PPI, CPI coming out reversed this week. Retail sales coming out after that. Be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful. Nobody's watching out for your money more than you, all right? Be careful. So that's what I got to say. I mean, nobody's watching out for your money more than you. Remember, it's not being wrong that costs you the big money in the market. It's staying wrong in the market. You stay wrong, it's where you lose the money. Know where you're wrong. Know when to get out. Know when to get back in. Have a plan. Follow the plan. Stick to the plan. Don't just wing it. All right? Don't be like, I'm getting in. I'll get out when JT says it's good. Don't do that. You're going to lose money. Be careful out there. I'll see you again tomorrow.